Hi everyone, welcome to Soul Searching Tarot. So right now I have pile 1, and just to do a little reintroduction, today we are doing a timeless read on who or what are your ancestors, spirit guides, and or demons, right? So some of us already know that we have a constant energy who is protecting us, guiding us, giving us warnings, messages. So in this pick a pile, I'm going to dive a little deeper and pick up the energy of your guides, right? Not all guides are good for us. Not all demons are necessarily bad. Some of you have really strong bloodlines and ancestors who favor you. So I do hope that this pile resonates with you. If it does, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you all for tuning in. So let's start with pile 1. So if you picked the rose quartz, this is your read. All right, so I'm using the Rider-Waite tarot here. And right away, I have the Tower, the Devil, the Judgment card, and the Six of Cups. All right, so this pile here has at least 2 spirit guides, at least 2. One of them is definitely bloodline, ancestor. It could be a grandma, maternal figure, could be your own mother, could be an aunt, but nonetheless, it feels like a mother figure, right? Feels like for some of you, you might have known this person as a little child, right? You communicated, spent time with this ancestor, family member when you were little, but they're not here, right? They're no longer here with us on Earth. For others, you probably never met this ancestor. However, this ancestor knows you, right? Your bloodline is very strong. And you and this mother figure, this maternal, feminine energy, have the same kind of spiritual gifts, if you will. So some of you may be, with the Six of Cups here, psychic readers, very intuitive. Some of you have very vivid dreams where it can manifest into some kind of prediction, prophecy, if you will. A lot of you probably went to church or mosque, or attended mass, or very in your family, your culture, whether it was a family or your whole entire intimate family went to church, attended mass, was very religious nonetheless. And if I would say religious / spiritual, right? I think a lot of your family members believed that there was something beyond God, or at least worship orishas, saints, believed in the demons, right? Believed in protecting oneself, cleansing, and stuff like that. Some of you may have strong fire in your chart, right? So you may have strong Aries, Leo, Sagittarius in your chart, as well as Scorpio and Capricorn. So some of you may have that in your birth chart. Doesn't necessarily have to be your sun sign. It could be your Jupiter placement, your moon placement, or your rising. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, some of you, not all. Capricorn and Scorpio is showing up very strongly here. I do believe that your other guide, right, besides the family member, bloodline, or ancestor, I do believe that there is another guide here that operates very strongly in your psyche with the devil and the judgment card here. And I think that a lot of the times when you are depressed, melancholy, feeling down and out, there is some kind of behavior, toxic tendency that happens where you're not able to cope with the Tower card here. It feels like a demon. It does feel like a little bit of a demon. I think, unfortunately, for some of you, you may have addiction problems or some kind of toxicity that manifests in the real world, in the 3D world. Not necessarily in the 5D. I think that in the 5D, you guys are very powerful because of this demon. And if you are using your spirit, if you are using your spiritual guides, your spiritual gifts the way you're supposed to, or your spiritual guides, in this case, this demon, right? Not all demons are from Earth. Not all demons, are necessarily good or bad, right? It's neutral, right? If you use the energy the way it's intended to be used according to your destiny or your mission, then, that's a different story. But if you feel like this demon is taking over your life, taking over your emotions, that's a problem, right? So I mentioned addiction, right? That could be drug, alcohol, sex, shopping, or any type of toxicity, right? Behavior that manifests in a very dark, negative energy towards other humans, even yourself. So we have to be very careful on, I think that some of you do have control of this demon. I think because you have this beautiful ancestor watching and protecting you, this ancestor already knows about this demon that manifests in your life, right? This could be generational, right? This toxic demon could come from your bloodline or from a previous generation, or it's a kind of energy where it's calling for you to heal, right? Ancestral healing is coming out big here with the Judgment card, right? We don't want to repeat the same pattern, cycle, toxicity, and pass it along to our children or grandchildren, right? We want to be aware of that, right? So the energy is definitely asking for you to be aware. I think that, some of you honestly already have control of this demon, right? And you know that it's there for darkness, and you use it when you can use it, right? So some of you may, a lot of you, well, not, sorry, I don't want to say a lot, but some of you, if you are resonating with this, may practice Santeria, may be aware of black magic, white magic, and you use it, right? You manifest this demon to use root work, spell work, and others may unfortunately not know how to handle this kind of dark energy, and I think that it does manifest through some kind of toxic behavior, if that makes sense. Being aware of it is the first step. I think that a lot of you have made wrong decisions, or might have been in relationships that were not the best, was toxic with the Tower card here. But if you do pull from this energy from your ancestor, if you know how to start healing from generational cycles that happen through toxicity, drinking, drugs, sex, whatever that may be, right? The first step is to heal, acknowledge and heal. And then after that, you guys are very powerful here. My pile here is very powerful. You guys have spiritual gifts. Okay, that's a fact here. There is no if, ands, or buts about it. I think the problem is for some of you is that you don't know how to use it. Right? You may need a guru, a guide, a spiritual teacher of some sort to kind of help you balance the light and the dark. All right. All right. So that's my pile 1. Let's go to pile 2. Hi, group 2. So today we are doing a timeless read on who or what are your ancestors, spirit guides, and or demons. So if you picked pile 2, the amethyst, then this is your read. I hope that it resonates. So some of you already know that you have constant energy protecting you, right? This constant energy around you who maybe giving you warnings, messages, guiding you, right? So in this pick a pile, I do want to dive a little deeper and pick up the energy of your guides, right? So not all demons are necessarily bad. Not all guides are necessarily good for you, right? And with some of you have bloodlines, very strong bloodlines and ancestors who may favor you, right? Because of your spiritual gifts, your destiny, journey in this life. Okay, so I hope that the message resonates. So if your pile resonates, please give it a like, subscribe, and thank you all for tuning in. All right, so pile 2. All right, so I'm using my African American Tarot cards. I'm also using my Oracle 33 cards, which is available for purchase. So just email me if you want to know more about my merchandise. Okay. King of Wands. I have the Lovers. Actually, I have the Lovers twice. Some of you may have strong Gemini in your chart. And then I have the Hangman. Oh, and the Wheel of Fortune. All right, it's a little windy, so I have to just make sure my cards don't fly away. All right. Some of you, again, may have strong Gemini in your charts, right? Or very strong Mercury placement, right? So either Virgo, Gemini, either in your rising, moon. Doesn't necessarily have to be sun sign. Jupiter. I'm also hearing Mars. Some of you may have strong Pisces, right? So strong Pisces in your birth chart. Okay. So straight away, I'm seeing an ancestor with the King of, the King of Pentacles here. Not the King of Wands, King of Pentacles. This could be a masculine energy, right? Masculine ancestor, right? Father figure, right? Could be dad, grandfather, uncle, or an ancestor that you actually never met, right? It doesn't feel like this person is living for a lot of you. For maybe a small group of you, this person could be a family member or a spiritual teacher of yours, or a spiritual consultant of yours, masculine, right? That doesn't necessarily have to be a male or female, so not gender-wise, but masculine energy nonetheless, right? So some of you do know this person. This person is very much part of your life, right? Could be a family member, again, could be a spiritual guide, teacher, member of a religious institute. But for the rest of you, I do believe that this ancestor of yours or family member is no longer living. This ancestor knows how to manage foundation, finance, right? So maybe when they were living, they had maybe a business, right? They ran a business, or they had a high position in a company. But nonetheless, this is a person who knows how to handle their funds, had a very strong foundation or legacy. Again, may have had their own business or investments, owned assets. I think they were very much respected in the community. There is a strict energy coming from this masculine energy, very strict. I want to say my way or the highway. My way or the highway, kind of strict, right? Very old school. And I do believe that this ancestor has a very dark skin, right? Tan, dark skin, right? I could be, Southern Europe, could be Middle East, Africa, could be indigenous. But yeah, definitely a beautiful dark skin color or tan. I think a lot of you already know how to work magic here with the Lover's card and the Hangman. Some of you do some kind of spell work. People come to you for spell work, whether it's, root magic or love spells. You guys have that gift, right? You're able to do candle magic. You're able to set intentions, really go within, right, with the Lover's card and the Hangman here. And you know how to tap into energy. Some of you may work in and work with herbs, work with the earth, right? So some of you are very connected to the earth, or the elements of the earth, right? Water, fire, air. You guys are very in tune with your surroundings. Some of you may have a green thumb, or just enamored by creatures, right? Pets. A lover of nature, nonetheless. And you were given this gift for something special, right? So it feels like my pile here really uses their gift for good things, right? You guys are what we call, I hate to label it because it's more than that, but white witches, or, herbal witches, wizards, right? We're not gonna just, I don't want to say just feminine energy do this, right? Some of my masculine are able to do this. Whether they use their hands or they manifest through thoughts and intentions, same thing. You're still working with energy. A lot of you have a very strong Jupiter placement, or a rising sign, that gives you the ability to really tune in with certain kind of energies. I think that your ancestor or your guide here really helps you with, maybe you have questions, right? Like, okay, can you help me manage or process an energy that's going on with me. And I think that, whether you speak to this ancestor through thought and heart, or you literally are talking to this person face to face, you do get a lot of messages and downloads with this King of Pentacles here in your spiritual journey, which is beautiful. Yeah, like my pile two, you guys know what you're doing. you know, my pile two here, maybe in a relationship right now. It could be some kind of twin flame or karmic soulmate, past life energy nonetheless, is what I'm seeing here. Now, not all twin flames and not all karmic soulmates are necessarily good or bad, right? We have, karmic soulmates that come back around, right? It may not have worked the first time, but maybe the second time around, it's working. You guys do have a very strong tie in a past life. And I do believe that you and this person of yours, whether you're with this person or not, some of you may know who I'm talking about. I'm hearing Capricorn, Pisces, and Taurus. Maybe Virgo. So Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, and Pisces, right? Some of you, it could be in their birth chart, right? So I don't know, anywhere in their birth chart, sun, moon, rising. But whatever the case may be, you have a very strong tie to this person in a past life, right? Whether you're with this person or not currently, I don't know. You know this more than me. But the past life has a lot to do with exactly what you're doing now, right? Your spiritual work, helping others. You're whether you consider yourself a wizard, in a spiritual practitioner, a witch doctor. I don't know. I really hate to label, but it's a gift. Nonetheless, it's a gift, and I think that you and this person share it. Now, whether this person knows about it in this lifetime, I don't know. But I'll tell you, in a past lifetime, you guys were very much in sync spiritually, right? It was not taboo. You guys might have come from a culture, a community, or a timeline where it was very much accepted. Spiritual demons did exist, and spiritual guides did exist, and all that was very much in the open, talked about, worshipped, acknowledged. Let me get any last messages here. Any last messages here for my pile two. All right, so the long unnamed path. Interesting. I think that some of you have reincarnated on this earth several times. I mean, you've been here for a long time, which is probably one of the reasons why you're so in tune with Mother Earth. You're aware of the energies of Mother Earth, the good and the bad and the neutral. You're aware of how to handle the energies and what to do when it manifests in a sinister way. You're able to protect yourself, cleanse yourself, work spells, not only for yourself, but for others. It says here, the long unnamed path. But what if the path leads to something better than you felt? Just keep on the journey and the fears will soon melt. It says, carry carnelian for grounding and relief. Yeah, some of you may have anxiety or some kind of mental disability. I don't know where it comes from, right? Different stories for all of you. Could be trauma from childhood or a relationship. But, you know, just be aware, because some of you do have a karmic soulmate, twin flame story here going on.
Sorry, here you go. I think they sent it upstairs.
Oh my God, thank you. I appreciate it.
No
yeah,
problem.
It's Father's Day gift.
Oh, perfect.
Sorry. Moving on. Just be aware that this relationship didn't end you. It shook you up, yes, mentally, emotionally, physically, but it doesn't have to end you, right? And I think that whether it was a childhood trauma or a relationship that you had, or maybe both, just be aware of this person had no control over you and will not have control of you moving forward. Whether you work with a spiritual guide, a therapist, or some kind of guide, you know, keep doing that to help you heal, to help you understand. Don't give up on yourself. You're a lot stronger than what you believe you are, my pile too. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you. Hi, Pile 3. This is Leonore. Welcome to Soul Searching Tarot. So today we are doing a timeless read on who or what are your ancestors, spirit guides, and or demons, right? So some of you already know you have a constant energy protecting you, guiding you, giving you warnings, messages, right? So in this pick a pile, pile 3, my citrine pile, we're going to dive a little deeper, pick up the energy of your guides, right? Not all demons are necessarily bad, and not all guides are necessarily good for us, right? So some of you may also have like bloodlines or ancestors who may favor you in some way. So yeah, I just hope that this message gives you more of a clarity. If it resonates, perfect. Please like and subscribe. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's get started. So some of you have very strong air in your chart. I'm picking up Aquarius strongly, right? So could be a rising sun, moon in Aquarius, could be a Jupiter in Aquarius, could be a Saturn in Aquarius. Yeah, but nonetheless, you definitely have very strong 11th house in your chart, right? The master number 11. Yeah, some of you have a destiny, a purpose, a mission, right? 100%. Some of you are creators. Some of you are teachers, healers. Some of you are influencers. Or some of you have a very strong tie in a company, community, where people come to you for advice, people come to you for knowledge, of some sort. And I do believe that you have a very strong spirit guide here. I don't know if I should call it a spirit guide, but it feels okay. The reason why I don't want to call it a spirit guide, it's because it doesn't feel like it's guiding you. It feels like a present energy. It does feel that way. For some of you, this could be, oh God, this one is a little complicated to describe in words. So let me try my best. With the Seven of Wands here, I do believe that there is a teenager or young adult who has manifested in your energy lately, or if not lately, maybe since, I don't know, I'm hearing for the last 10 years, 15 years. But the spirit guide didn't come through with you, right? When you came into this earth, it didn't come through with you, right? It was a guide that kind of appeared. It just appeared, right? It could be a ghost, spirit. It could be a brother, a sibling, a cousin. So some of you may already know who I'm talking about, and you're like, yeah, my brother or my cousin, or again, it feels like a young person, so a teenager, a young adult might have passed in this lifetime, and you were very close to this person, or you knew this person, but this person, this spirit, this ghost has been hovering over you. And that's why I'm not calling it a guide. I do think that the spirit does protect you. I do believe that. I think that it helps you steer away from danger. And then maybe for some of you, you may get this heavy feeling of not wanting to go somewhere, or a heavy feeling of maybe not wanting to communicate or meet a person. And I think it comes from this spirit, this ghost, trying to protect you. Yeah, like with the Two of Swords here, right? So you have the Seven of Wands, Two of Swords, and the Star card. Like the Two of Swords here just tells me that some of you may doubt the messages, or, have maybe questioned the energy surrounding you, and perhaps this is a confirmation of some sort for you. But it doesn't feel like a guide, right? So I don't want you to take this spirit or this young adult, not for all, but I think for a lot of you, it's just there watching you, kind of living vicariously through you, if you will. Not necessarily guiding you, but, protecting you, yes, right? Steering you away from danger, yes. So I think a lot of you should really, if you have that sinking feeling, trust it with the Two of Swords here. So I'm using my dark mirror tarot. Oh my God, is this my dark mirror? Yeah, I think so. Just making sure. I have sacrifice and child that was meant to be. Right, number 7, number 8. Right, so you may be life path 7, life path 8. Some of you may have been born on the 7th month, or on the 7th day, or on the 8th month, or the 8th day of the year. But it feels like very strong numbers for my pile here. Some of you have gorgeous eyes. Oh my God. I think that your gift here could be pretty hypnotizing. Literally. Right? Literally hypnotizing. So some of you, again, may have beautiful color eyes or just beautiful eyes that people look into, right? They say the eyes are the windows of the soul, right? You're able to maybe look through people's souls with your gift. Hypnotize, right? I said the word hypnotize, right? So people may look into your eyes and feel a certain way, right? Whether it's a positive feeling or a negative feeling, I don't know, right? It depends on the energy you're radiating towards that person. But you're able to talk with your eyes. You're able to deliver messages with your eyes. It's definitely an energy of being in a trance when they look in your eyes, if that makes sense. It's very deep, right? My pile here has a very old soul, right? Maybe you were at age 10, 15, 20, I don't know. And people, will look at you and be like, your age doesn't match your personality or your character, right? A lot of my pile here have an old soul, right? Some of you are not even coming back to Earth, right? You're not being like, it's like whatever mission you have in this lifetime, you are fulfilling it. My pile here, you're not coming back to Earth. I don't think you're even from here. My pile here is not from here, from this Earth. Whether you were reincarnated once or reincarnated 100 times, you're not from here. But I do believe that in this lifetime, you guys are fulfilling your role, your destiny, your mission. You have learned from other past lives to listen to your soul. You're here to do great things, my pile 3. And even when I look at this one, the child that I was meant to be, right? Again, my pile here is fulfilling their role, their destiny, their mission. Some of you are Reiki healers, sound healers, massage therapists. Some of you are doctors or psychiatrists, social workers, clinicians, some kind of therapist for sure. You know how to work with energy. You're very in tune with energy here, my pile. And I think that you're protected. There is a blessing going on here with my pile, right? Where you're protected, you're rewarded, you're blessed, right? And it comes with hard work, yes. It comes with failures, triumphs, but nonetheless, you are still rewarded, right? I think like this time around, in order for you to fulfill your destiny, and because you have been fulfilling your destiny, your mission in a humanitarian kind of way, if that makes sense, you are being rewarded, you're being blessed, you're being protected. And I think that your spirit guides and ancestors are all around you, whether they're your bloodline, whether they're not from this earth, you're surrounded by them. A lot of you may not believe in it or see it or communicate, acknowledge, validate them. Maybe for a small group of you, yes, but a lot of my viewers here, my pal 3, you guys are like, I got this. I don't really need outside help. And you don't, because you're aware of your powers. And it's very 3D, right? It's not in a spiritual sense. For some of you, yes, you're aware of your spiritual gifts and the energy that comes through you, but yeah, you don't see it as help from spirit guides and ancestors. You're like, this is who I am. This is who I was born to be, born to do. It's taken me a while to get here, but I'm filling the role. And that's through hard work. This is through hard work. Triumphs, failures, sacrifices. My pal 3. So let's see if I could get another message for you guys. Just one more message. All right, pagan wisdom. It says here, remember the lessons of nature. Not everything needs to be rushed. A gift comes in waiting for a loving, tender touch. It says, carry rose quartz and respect. I'm sorry, carry rose quartz for love and respect. Yeah, so I feel like my pile here may need to work on your heart chakra, root chakra. My pile here is very strong-headed, very strong-headed, very, the strength that comes from this pile is undeniable. But I do feel like some of you may have to work through your heart chakra or your root chakra. There's a blockage there that needs to be cleared, right? Perhaps it's from helping others, and the blockage may come from other people, right? You may have to find a way to kind of filter that energy away from you or out of you. Or some of you just are hardcore emotionalists. My God, am I saying that right? Emotionless. There we go. Some of you are emotionless, detached. For whatever reason that may be. But I do believe that there's somewhere in your heart chakra and or root chakra that needs to be cleared, if that makes sense, my loves. All right. Thank you, Pile 3. Bye. Hi everyone. Hi, Pile 4. So if you picked the Tiger's Eye, this is your read. So I do hope that it does resonate. If it does, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are doing a timeless read on what or who are your ancestors, spirit guides, and or demons. Some of us already know that there is a constant energy protecting us, guiding us, warning us, giving us messages, right? We get these downloads, So in this pick a pile, we're going to dive a little deeper into the energy of your spirit guides, right? So not all demons are necessarily bad. Not all guides are necessarily good for us. So we're going to dive into the energy and see what's going on with my pile. And also bloodline, right? Bloodlines, ancestors, we have them as spirit guides too, right? And they favor us for whatever reason that may be. All right, so let's see what's going on with my pile 4. All right, so I'm using my past life oracle cards here, and I'm going to be using my Oracle 33 card here to kind of pick up on the energy. So I have imprisonment or slavery, Asia, Greco-Roman, and Rite of Passage. All right, strong Jupiter card. It says, every day is a new journey. Trust your inner compass. Some of you are writers, publishers, content creators, and you have a very strong pull to interact with other cultures, religion. You guys are like sponges, right? You don't just want to get to know one thing, right? You want to expand, explore, research, educate yourself in science, history, math. Like my pile here, you guys are very logical. Some of you may have a very strong air sign in your chart, so either Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Doesn't have to be. I'm also hearing Taurus, Scorpio, Aries. Some of you may have strong bloodline through Asia, right? Whether it's, I mean, Asia is a huge continent, right? So we're talking about at least 10 different cultures there, at least. But, you know, we have India, we have China, and all the other little islands surrounding it. Some of you have different religious practices, right? Whether it's Buddhist, Catholic, Muslim, and there's others also. I don't want to just stop at those three, but obviously there's others and I feel like your bloodline, your DNA, your ancestors may also have a very strong connection. Again, whether it's your bloodline, ancestors, right, DNA, you have a very strong connection to Greco-Roman, right? So Greece, Rome, Spain, even France, I'm hearing, right? So Portuguese, right? So Portugal, I should say. Portugal, Spain, France. And what was the other one? Greece? I said Greece, yeah. Rome. Whether you know it or not, I don't know. Some of you may know that. Some of you are like, I don't know. But perhaps there is a trace of that kind of ancestry, because I see it here very strongly. Now, a lot of you may not be from Asia or may have that DNA, but I do believe that my pile here loves Asian food. You guys love Asian food, love cooking Asian food, Roman food, Spain, like Spanish. You like traveling there, right? Maybe you travel through Asia, through Greece, Italy, Spain. Yeah, again, my pal here, they love listening to their inner compass. You love going on journeys. You love researching. You love you guys are in love with life. My pal here loves life. Because there's so much to do, so much to experience, so much to be felt and know about. And I think that in a past life, you weren't able to do this, right? So when I see imprisonment and slavery, I think in a past life, you weren't able to do this. You weren't able, whether you were really imprisoned or a slave in a past life, or it may just be that your parents or the culture, your family didn't allow you to go outside your community, didn't allow you to experience other cultures, food, knowledge. And so you come into this lifetime and you're like, oh no, I want to experience everything. I don't care. I need to know about this, that, right? So some of you have very strong adventurous spirit, a very strong adventurous spirit. Let's see who your spirit guides and ancestors are. I'm going to use my African American tarot cards here. All right, I'll take it. Okay. So I have the Page of Cups, the Four of Swords, and I think this is the King of Swords. Yeah, the King of Swords. Some of you are able to get prophecy downloads through either dreams or through channeling. Some of you either as a child or maybe during your pregnancy, whether it was you pregnant or your spouse or partner, doesn't matter. It feels like a lot of you has a child. A lot of you has a child were possessed by some kind of demon. And for a small group of you, again, this might have happened while you were expecting a baby. Or you may get attacked spiritually through your dreams, right? It could be all of the above, one or the other. You tell me. But my pile here does get spiritually attacked. And it's not just one demon. It feels like there's more than one, at least two very strong ones. I think that it comes from your family, right? There might have been a curse done to your family at a very young age or before you were even born, where you were possessed or this demon comes around in your dreams, right? Either as a shadow person, right? You may see shadows here and there. You may get possessed, right? Like possessed, not in an exorcist kind of way, right? Like the movie Exorcist. Could be, maybe, I don't know, but not to that extent, right? But I think that some of you may have multiple personality disorder or split personality disorder. Wow. And a lot of you don't have control of this, right? I think that some of you have gotten help for it, right? Either through your spiritual leaders, religious institutions, family, practitioners, therapists, doctors of all kinds, whether they're spiritual doctors or medical doctors. You try to figure this kind of energy that's happening within yourself, but I don't know if they can help you. my pile here. I have tiger's eye here, right? My pile picked tiger's eye. I don't know if carrying this around will help you, but I think you should really look into the tiger's eye, and maybe start carrying it with you, for protection, for guidance, for cleansing. But look into it, right? If it's something that appeals to you, perfect. But a lot of my viewers here may need more than just the tiger's eye. Even under your pillow, I'm hearing. Put it under your pillow at nighttime. All right, gold. I'm hearing gold. Gold is another kind of mineral that can help you. So whether you have it on you, near you, under your pillow, I would suggest to also carry gold with you, right? 10 carat, 14 carat, doesn't matter. But definitely carry that mineral with you, whether it's a jewelry or not. A nugget, could be a nugget, gold nugget, I don't know. Yeah, I'm hearing that very strongly from my pile here. Oh, I don't know. I know some of you are asking, is there a way to get rid of this, right? I just heard that from someone. Yes, there is a way to get rid of it. But it requires you to really go through the mill emotionally, mentally, and physically to get rid of it. It's almost like you have to hurt yourself to hurt the spirit, right? Not, I don't want to say not in a way where you're in agony or in pain or, about to die. But I think that a lot of you may indulge in certain behaviors or indulge in some kind of greed, whether it's money, food, relationships, I don't know. Whatever greed you have comes from this curse, this demon. And what you're doing is feeding it, right? Whatever toxicity or behavior that you do, right? Some of you, like I said, have split personalities, multiple personalities. Some of you feel very weak, drained from this demon. You're gonna have to smoke it out, if you will. It could be literally smoke it out, right? With sage, right? Cleanse, fire, smoke out, do bonfires, do saging, to clear or at least remove or have the energy stay clear away from you. But I think it's still temporary, right? I still think it's temporary. So it may help for a little bit, but it's not a cure, if that makes sense. Sacrificing is going to have to be something that you may have to consider with this kind of energy. So again, if you indulge in drugs, you may have to stop doing drugs to get rid of this demon. If you indulge in alcohol, you may have to stop doing alcohol. It's gonna definitely take a sacrifice. I don't know. It's different for all of you, right? I'm not saying my pile here are alcoholics, drug addicts, sex addicts. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying you have toxic behaviors. I do believe that this demon indulges in those things. And you may believe that you do have that toxicity or you do have that addiction, but it's not you. It's this demon. So there's supposed to be some kind of sacrifice that's going to hurt you emotionally, mentally, physically. But it's a sacrifice that needs to be made if you want to get rid of this demon. Now, if you want to use it to your advantage, you're going to have to know how to manage it. You're going to have to learn how to manage it because it does have strength. There is some strength in this demon. This demon is very smart. It gives you these downloads, these predictions, it reads people. Right, some of you have an amazing, beautiful gift that comes from this demon. But you need to control it, not have it control you. If that makes sense, my darlings. Let's get one more message with the Druid wisdom here. I did say to get the tiger's eye, right? But let's see if there's any other thing that could help you here. All right, so it says here, Glastonbury tour. Where are we going if not deeper into this love? Heart be pure as holy dove. Let me in or let me go. Interesting. It says carry rhodocrosite. Sorry guys, I never even heard of this rock before. I'll spell it for you. RHODOCHROSITE. Rhodocrosite. For deeper love and healing. Have you ever heard of the saying, you kill your enemies with love, empathy? Love and empathy is the biggest, greatest energy you can use to defeat a negative energy, dark, sinister energy. And by doing so, you were able to control this demon. Your love and your empathy, right? Look at that. There's darkness, but in the middle there's this beautiful light, and that's your energy, Pile 4. This demon is this darkness, and this is your light. So work off of this light to kind of control the darkness, if that makes sense, my loves. I am so over you. If you need a private reading or any type of spiritual guidance, I am here. I am taking clients at the moment. You could email me. Thank you for tuning in. Love you guys. Bye.